I think it actually prevents us from really having intimacy, like the kind that we really want, like, because it keeps us kind of from being faithful to our own ideals and values.
We end up hiding, basically.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't really want to hide anymore. It feels like I've spent so much time doing that.
This video is about my process of making this painting for my friend Hannah, who is making a new album. And this painting originally was going to be for her album cover, but she decided after seeing the photographs of the painting that it didn't really match what she was looking for her cover, for the album cover. And so I still wanted to share the documentation process of painting the painting, and what ended up evolving from it was my own internal process around getting back in tune with myself and my creativity and working through the feelings that came up for me around this painting. Okay, I don't look great. I haven't taken a shower in like a week. I sort of locked myself in my studio here. Everything's a mess. I'm in transition. I think that, well, I just feel like this new world, mutation, this transformation of consciousness that's happening in the world today is kind of really about that. In a way, it's about being really real and not hiding the things that aren't, like, quote unquote perfect by society's standards, that we have this cultural philosophy, belief about what things are supposed to look like, and it's a big lie, right? I mean, I feel like the most iconic example of that is like the 1950s women in those advertisements that you see on little magnets and stuff. It's so absurd, with vacuum cleaners and big dresses, and they're like so happy to be vacuuming, And I always think about, or I often think about the Stepford Wives, because it's just like that in extreme. And it's gross, and everyone can feel how gross that is when that's when it's kind of like highlighted in that way, like it is in that movie. Anyways, so I'm also wanting to step into that and just be real, and it is scary, but here I am, I'm gonna do it. I just made this painting of my friend Hannah for her album cover, for her new album that's coming out, which is really all about that. It's about not hiding, it's about being really real, it's about being estranged. I'm estranged from my family, and the reasons for that are extensive, but mainly it's because my dad is abusive and was all the time when we were growing up, and that just causes so much dysfunction, and it's sort of like it has tentacles that spread out in all directions. It's not just like isolated in his personality or his behavior. In some ways I feel like my life began when I became estranged, because it's like a statement of saying, I'm not going to have abusive people in my life anymore. I'm not going to allow that. It's like taking the inner child of myself and saying, I'm going to protect you, and I'm not going to allow people to be abusive to you anymore and to treat you with disrespect. And that's like the most self-loving thing that we can do. And I really feel like, for me anyways, my inner self really felt that love and appreciated it and kind of blossomed out as a result. And I'm still working on that, and I'm still, healing, and I don't know, I'm not perfect, but I just made this painting, and this is the first painting that I've painted on fabric, like in this style that I used to do a lot of. In basically 3 years, I've been painting on watercolor paper, small scale, and I mean, I think that's equally valid. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. I just, the last painting that I painted on fabric was of Matthew in 2019, and now I got the studio, and so this is the first time I've painted like this on fabric again for, 3 years. Anyways, but here I am dealing with, like kind of processing these emotions of having made this painting for someone who I don't think they feel good about it, and what's gonna happen, I don't know. Is she gonna use it for her album cover now? I don't think so. That's really hard to kind of process, and I'm feeling like, okay, I've been in this studio for a week straight, more than a week straight, working on this painting. I think I need to go for a hike. I think I just need to get out of here and go be in nature, take a shower, breathe, do some meditation. And what I feel like I really want to do as far as like my art goes is just do some playing. I bought a little jar of glitter from a thrift store. I found it in a thrift store, and that's so good for me to get out of like my head when it comes to creativity and art, is to just play like a little kid in a sketchbook, just in a way that I know that no one's ever gonna see it. I don't have to post it on Instagram. It's not about that. I mean, there's a very real portal into a magical realm there when you're just, I feel like when I'm playing, and I'm not gonna show it to anybody. I can, it's not like a rule I have for myself that I'll never show it. Sometimes I do show it, but there's just a safe container, I guess, in the playing where I'm not doing it for anybody else but myself, and that sacred space. Yeah. And then maybe if I want to show it, I show it, but I don't have to, and I know that. And there's just such a sweet thing that happens for me in that moment, and I really love it. And I feel like that's what I need. That's what's needed for my inner artist child. Yeah, just to go back into that incubator of creativity and not put it out into the world, and not have it be like a commission or anything, and just really take that time for myself. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's all I have to say. I need to go take a shower. Marcy, what do you think about it all? So I wanted to share the whole story and the whole process, and also I guess it's a little bit awkward to share about Hannah's reaction to the painting because I certainly don't want to speak for her, and she's been really, really gracious about the way that she communicated with me that she doesn't feel that this painting is really going to work for what she's looking for her album cover, after all, probably. And so, yeah, I guess I just want to say that, but it's important to be able to, for me to be able to tell that, because that's an important part of the process. And what came out of this experience of making this painting for me really was huge, because what it sort of forced me to get like back to the drawing board, literally, and return to why I make art in the first place. I realized in this process that it's like the core of my story as an artist, actually. For me now, that's the point. So that helped me to move through the inner critic stuff or the comparison with other people's stuff, because it just doesn't matter when I'm making art from a place of I need this in my life.